Okay, here is the station as you see it in the morning when you first come in. The first step is to turn on this power strip right here, which will basically turn on the whole system. You'll notice the amp is powered up to ALC. You'll need to turn on, not in any particular order, the radio on power, turn on your power on your tuner and your amp. There you have it. You also already have your rotor turned on here as well. Once you do that, you'll see the radio is already set to 14287. We'll come back and go into details of the 7300 in a little while. Let's move on to the computer. All you'll need to do is turn on the power strip for the computer and then power up your computer. Okay, also for powering up the 7300 and station 2, you'll need to come over to station 2 on the antennas and connect this to whatever antenna you're going to be using. Today we're going to be using the tower, so you plug that up. Once you plug that up, you'll hear activity on the 7300 as well as see it on the scope. With that, we'll come back with the some information on the 7300. Okay, some simple instructions on the 7300. We've already covered turning on the power of the 7300. Once you do that, you want to dial to 14287. The scope, the way I like to use it is I minimize the scope by hitting M scope and then go to menu and then go to meter. That will give you your SWR meter, compression, ALC, and power is minimized up at the top. A very important step is to lock your frequency dial, which is down here at the bottom right. It doubles as a speech, but also as the power. So you want to hold that down just a little while, and it will say dial lock on, and you'll see a key right here. That way, I have done it inadvertently. If you turn the dial, your frequency won't move. Now, we suggest that you do not change any settings for the radio. But let's say you do have some noise and you need to change that. I'm going to unlock this. Here, over here, you'll see noise reduction, noise blanker, notch, and preamp and ATT attenuator. You can turn those on to try to release, that's what I just did, release the noise level. You can see the difference. That's with it off, and that's with it on. If you hold down the button, you'll get this menu here, which is the noise reduction level. It's at 9. I can change that and rotate that down to 7 and you'll get more noise in. Or rotate it up and reduce. I'll put it at around 7. Push the multi button and that menu will disappear. Again, if you push the NR button, noise reduction, that turns it off, noise comes in, push it again, more noise goes away when it's on. The notch, if you have a noise coming in on the side, then the notch can help you notch out some of that. Again, hold the notch button down and you can change the width to medium, narrow or wide for the notch, or the position of the notch. Change it by rotating the multi-knob again and try to get that noise reduction out. One last thing I want to show you is going back to the scope. And I don't know if you can see this on screen. I think you can. That's your line right here where you are on the grid. So watch when I move it. You'll see that rotating across. And these are your signals. This is a touch screen, so you can actually touch on it, highlight it, and change your screen there as well. Along with rotating, if you click on your frequency here, it will go faster. And if you click on the zeros, the smaller ones, it will go slower rotation, depending on your preference. Okay, this video is going to talk about the rotor. Again, this rotor, this one here, is going to be turning the tower that you should be connected from station 2 to the tower here. In other words, if this is attached to the gap or the dipole, you don't need to use the rotor. Now, what I was taught when I first started was that you want to hold that brake release, the middle button down, and then push west, get a better shot, turn west with this switch over here. You'll see the needle moving. And now we're moving the tower. We're turning to west there. This paper is put here because the noise level, we've had some noise problems, and that's right about where the noise is. If you hold down the brake again and then turn again. Now you might ask, why are you holding that brake release? I was told when I first started is that it's in order to keep the antenna from swinging after you release the rotation. Now I'm rotating east with this finger on the east side. So this is east, and here's the brake release, and here's the west. You'll notice that when I hold the middle one down, then I go west, I keep my middle finger down, and then when I'm done, I keep my middle finger down just a little bit longer before I let go. And that's to keep the antenna from moving forward there. Now I'm going to place it back. In, what are we in? We're in February of 2020. As of right now, The sweet spot for us of getting a lot of contacts during the net has been sort of northeast, right about here. So that's why you see that paper there. I hope this has helped you learning a little bit more about the rotator. 73. Okay, this video is to give you a little bit of an idea on the amateur contact log. This is how we log our contacts for the net control. After turning on the computer, powering up, don't forget power that up first, turn on the computer, you'll come to the desktop. This is Windows 10. What I like to do, you don't have to, this is an option, is to go into Firefox first. And Firefox will come up. If it's not at the QRZ page, then type that in right here into the address area. Most of the time, it's going to be logged in with a call sign. So if it's not, then log in to your own call sign. And you can put in here a call sign that you're going to log in, and it gives you a little bit more to talk about when you're, so I'll put mine in W5MHG. Hit enter, and then you'll have a little bit more to talk about when you see the person, but you haven't logged it in for our station. The next thing you want to do, I'm just going to minimize this, is go to amateur contact log. Double click, you'll get N5VA. A lot of you all probably are familiar with this software. There's two ways of doing this. I'll show you the way I do it. You click on net up here. Another screen will come up, and right there you don't have to do anything. All you got to do is start typing in W5MHG. I hit the down arrow right here. Watch what happens. And then it will bring up my name information. Now, it's not logged yet. You'll continue to do that as you're taking in people from the net 14287. Once you're done, then at the end at 12 o'clock Mountain Time, you'll click on log right there. Now, if you click on delete, it's going to be gone. So click on log. And you'll do that at the top, and this whole screen will go up, move up, and you click on log, and then save and close. If you don't click on log, then it won't be into the log. It will just be gone. You'll lose it. So you click on log. I'm not going to do that now because I don't want my call sign to be logged in there. So I'll delete it. If you make a mistake, you put in the wrong one, you do want to click delete. You can't go back and change it, because if I put in here N5JH and hit the down arrow, notice it still says Mark and my name. And you have that. So that's wrong information. So you have to go back if you make a mistake and go back to delete and then re-enter the call sign. Now, the reason why I have the QRZ page in there is when you do this, if you have a logger and a net controller, then you can come down to the taskbar here, bring that up, and then you can read about who you're talking to, just for more information. But you don't have to use this. If this is too much, then just use the net logger. And that is down there, right there. Once you're done with hitting log for all of them, save and close, then this will close up, and then you hit the X button up at the top, and you're done. And then you come over and close it down like any other computer. I hope this has helped you understand using N5VA, the logging system we use for Station 2. 73. Okay, this video is about what not to touch. These are things that really, in this setting here at the hub, we don't really need to bother with. Number one, the twin pass band knob here, really don't need to touch that at all. Transmit button here, we do that by the mic. Tuner we talked about. Vox blanker we don't use. The SD card slot down here, don't really need to use that. The function key, quick and exit, really don't need to use. The multi we talked about before in another video, very rarely. And any of these buttons over here we don't really need to use. And the reason why is because we try to keep the radio a standard way for all the users coming in. Also, I failed to mention, this is your volume knob right here. And that's station coming in. And so this is your volume knob right here. You can obviously use that quite a bit. But the inner one is the squelch. And really don't need to use the squelch that much. And you can adjust the volume as you see fit. So those are some of the items you don't need to use. 73.